A dynasty never lasts forever, but what separates great teams from the pack is the ability to thrive from era to era. Not only have the Spurs been able to accomplish this, but their newest squad may feature the player who's next in line for the keys to the franchise. Lonnie Walker IV was the first round pick out of the University of Miami for the San Antonio Spurs in this past draft. He's a 6'5" shooting guard who can best be described as a shot maker who can play on both ends of the court. He averaged 16.6 points per game for the University of Miami and grabbed 3.7 rebounds, then turned around at the Las Vegas Summer League and averaged 11.5 points per game and grabbed 5 rebounds a game. He impressed scouts so much that some of them said he was the best player in Vegas and said he was most likely to become a star. One of the first things that stands out about Lonnie Walker once he steps on the court is the fact that he's just a great athlete. He can play above the rim and uses his athleticism to blow by defenders with ease. He's able to stay in front of multiple positions on defense and can rise up to block shots thanks to his vertical. I think his athletic ability is really something that's going to allow him to thrive at the NBA level early, especially as his skills develop to that level. There's not very many guys his size that play his position you see play above the rim the way he does, and especially the way he can play on both sides of the floor is definitely going to be something the Spurs are going to be interested in developing, and it's going to fit their system really well. Now, the number one thing that he was drafted for and that everybody coveted him coming out of college and into this draft for is the fact that he's just a natural born scorer. He can score at all three levels, which is something you see all elite players do. He can score at the three-point line, mid-range, and around the basket. He's especially a tough shot maker, and that's something that separates him from a lot of other guys in this draft. No matter what the defense is or what situation he finds himself in, he always finds a way to just get that bucket, and I think that's something that's going to be a major key for him, especially at the NBA level as the defense is more intense. And if he's going to fill that role as a scorer for the Spurs, it's going to be something he's really going to have to hold on to and continue to develop. And that brings me to kind of the next thing that separates him so much, and that's the fact that he just has that killer mentality. You know, he wants the ball in his hands with the game on the line. A lot of times at the University of Miami in clutch situations, he found ways to get a bucket. He found ways to go and put his team in a situation to win. And that's something that the Spurs are not only going to love, but it's going to be something that's going to allow him to thrive at the next level, because oftentimes you see guys who are good scorers in college, but they just don't have that dog in them. Well, Lonnie has that dog in him. That mentality of, I'm going to put my team on my back. No matter who's in my way, they're not going to stop me, is something that only the greatest NBA scorers have. Guys like Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, you know, people who had that mentality were some of the greatest scorers to ever play this game. So if he can have that mentality and develop it along with the skills, it's going to really separate him as one of the better scorers in the league if he can continue on the way that his potential shows he can go. Now, some things that he does need to work on. Number one, he's an extremely streaky shooter. He has really good form, but a lot of times he forces pull-up jumpers at times when he could probably get to the basket. He shot only 27% from 3 in the Summer League. Now, that may have just been nerves or like adjusting to NBA range, which is understandable, but it's still something that at this level he's going to have in his bag, is the ability to shoot from the three-point line, especially with the Spurs who love that perimeter game and love to move the ball around that three-point line. He's going to have to be able to knock down those open shots. So if he can develop that, it'll take his game to another level consistency-wise, but also allow him to really thrive in the Spurs system and develop into the player he's meant to be. Now, the other thing that he kind of needs to work on, but he did show major improvement on, is his ball handling. You know, in Summer League, he had a couple moments that belonged on mixtapes, the way he was crossing people up and getting to the rim, and I thought that was a big improvement from where he was in Miami, where a lot of times he just relied on his athleticism to get by guys. But in the Summer League, he really showed he had developed his handle and was able to get past some more athletic defenders and put them on skates, and I think that's something that's going to be a major key for him at the next level. He still doesn't have the ball on a string where he can get wherever he wants, but he definitely showed flashes of what he can become once he develops that handle. I think it's important to remember that the Spurs love to develop their players, so don't be surprised if you see Lonnie Walker spend some time down in the G League next season, or even, you know, in limited minutes in the main rotation. You know, players like DeJounte Murray and Kawhi Leonard saw the same treatment, and, you know, I think it turned out pretty well for both of them. Also, the addition of DeMar DeRozan, it will fill up some of his early opportunities that he may have gotten, but the move wasn't all bad for Lonnie. I think it's really good for him to be able to learn from a guy like DeRozan who plays similar to him, and it's going to be good for him to see how a guy like that carries himself. You know, DeMar is a top 20 player in this league, one of the best players in this league, and has led a franchise now for the past 5-6 years. I think that's something that Lonnie can learn from and can really apply to his game daily. He's only 19 years old. He has plenty of time to develop, so there's no need in rushing this development. No matter what happens, the keys to the franchise still lie in the hands of him and DeJounte Murray, no doubt. And Lonnie's going to fill a major role for the Spurs moving forward. He fills a need that they've missed, and that's someone who can play within a system but still fill up the stat sheet. You know, it's a new era in San Antonio, and they may have found the perfect prospect to build around. If Lonnie Walker is able to develop into a complete player, which is something the Spurs specialize in, then we can see him become a star at the NBA level. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for your constant support. Don't forget to drop a like, leave feedback in the comments section below. Tell me what you think about Lonnie Walker and if he can develop into that next great Spurs player, especially in this post-Kawhi era that they're embarking on. Don't forget to subscribe for more. Remember to turn on post notifications so you don't miss any new content. We're continuing our original series, I Promise, following the life of a college basketball player. We've got some other cool things coming up, including a new series called Film Session, where we'll be breaking down aspects of the game, ball handling moves, shooting forms, things that can help develop a young player's game and take your game to the next level. We're going to start looking at stuff like that, so I'm excited about it. I want you guys to be along for the ride, so remember to do that. I don't want to take any more time into your day. Thank you again for watching. God bless.